This is a really weird time to be a Chiefs fan. We're going to talk about it. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks for rolling in. Do your boys a favor, hit that like button on the way in. Let's get this out to more people and chat some Chiefs tonight. Shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. Make sure you get the description. Click that link, download Prize Picks, and use code HMA when you're signing up. Mike, it's a really weird time to be a Chiefs fan, don't you think?
Yeah, so much dumb stuff going on right now that people are trying to pass off as news, and it is ridiculous. Like, we're not even going to try to blow smoke up y'all's asses. Like, you have ex-NFL players wanting to talk about fighting Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce chugs a beer at a Cleveland Cavaliers playoff game. Boy, is that interesting. And I don't even know what else we got going. It's a horrible time. I wish they'd hurry up and get the OTAs and let's get back to some football because this is pure torture.
Yeah. When is OTAs?
It's coming up this week. It'll be on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there'll be something to talk about Tuesday then.
Maybe so. 26, 27, 28.
All right. Good to see y'all, Janae, Ray, Jazzy in the chat. How y'all doing?
Well, we got a little bit of Rashee Rice kind of news. I know people's tired of talking about this. You have to be. I even threw out a poll. I haven't even checked the poll. I'm sure it's going to be a disaster. Ain't nobody want to talk about Rashee Rice anymore. Like, I think everybody's tired of this dude. 30 votes in the chat. We're already well above 80%. And before we even kicked off, somehow we were 50-50 with about 12. There weren't even 12 people in here waiting, and somehow it was already, like, skewed. So this thing should have probably been over 95%. People are so tired of talking about Rashee Rice.
I think they're tired of having to talk about Rashee Rice. They're not tired about talking about Rashee Rice or being held accountable because that's what they love. But I think what they're tired of is Rashee Rice doing stuff that it has to be talked about. I think that's the problem.
Well, possibly so, but that's the point. Like, every time we're talking about Rashee Rice, it's for something stupid. If he'd go do something positive, it'd be amazing.
Let's go, Jay. Appreciate you being a member, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jay. But yeah, like, we're tired of it. I'm tired of, like, I'm just over this dude. Like, just let him serve his jail sentence. Let's move on. Let's go talk about. Let's focus on players that want to play, that are gonna be here in OTAs, and don't want to just sit around and get in trouble all the time. And if we have to tolerate, I think I'm at the point where I'm just for tolerating Rashee Rice at this point. So it's like I don't even want to talk about him anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe Leonard Fournette can go fight him. That's what he wanted to do this week.
He's going to be there. No, I think what that was he was trying to say that the veterans weren't holding him accountable. That's why he keeps getting in trouble, which is a good point and probably a good conversation. But I don't know. I don't know if he actually wants to fight him in like a boxing match or anything. I don't think that's what he was saying.
Maybe.
But he just said he'd go punch on him if it made, if that's going to make him wake up a little bit and realize that only 1% of 1% makes it to the NFL, and he's taking it for granted. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he makes a good point with that. I think there are lots of veterans that probably should be stepping up and saying something to Rashee Rice, but so far it's like they go out there last season and wear free 4 shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they almost like, it's cool, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid as much as the front office, as much as everybody, the fans, half of them. They're drinking it. They all love it. It's just support everybody. Like, the NFL's become, like, insane. Like, all they do is just act so ridiculously dumb sometimes.
Yeah, like chugging beers at basketball games.
Yeah, if that's the worst we can fill out with Travis Kelce, we're in trouble there.
Yeah. I saw where George Kittle was like, y'all got to chill.
Dude, it's absurd, but it's a slow time of the year, so they're just blowing everything out of proportion. I seen today where people on X were literally talking about Mahomes and Kelce's restaurant getting a bad review because somebody got a bad wait staff and had to pay $600. Surprise, surprise. It's an expensive restaurant. Last time I checked, Kelce and Mahomes aren't waiting on you. They're not cooking your food. There are bad employees everywhere. That's just the way it works. You can go complain. You can overpay for a steak. If you can afford it, go eat it. If you can't, quit crying about it. I don't know. Like, why have we become such a crybaby society? Like, this made news today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said you wanted to talk about all the players that aren't getting in trouble. So who do you want to
please.
talk about?
Let's talk about football, because when I talk about Rashee Rice, I just get irritated. It's annoying. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
So let's talk about a receiver that hasn't got in trouble yet. Just which one?
Yeah. I want to talk about who's the guys that could step up. I think we got a lot of players here in year 3, some in year 2. I think we got a lot of players that are on a make or break season. I've seen where the NFL's doing a make or break for 11 different players throughout the NFL. I don't know if they're going to have any Chiefs fans or Chiefs players on there, but I started thinking, if we'd done this with our own roster, I could think of a few make or breaks. We know for a fact it's a make or break year for like Felix Anudike-Uzomah, I think. I don't think that's debatable. But I think if you want to talk receivers, I don't think it's make or break for Jalen Royals at all. I don't think it's make or break for Tyquan Thornton. I don't. Like, yeah, he could have a bad season, but I mean, it is what it is. I think it's make or break for Xavier Worthy. I think that might be the one that's make or break this year. I think a lot of Chiefs fans, whether he deserves it or not, they're under the impression that he's just not good. He doesn't do much. And so I think if he has another down year, they're going to be ready to get rid of him.
Yeah, well, he's got that first round stigma. They traded up to get him in the first round, and it kind of put him in that Clyde Edwards-Helaire situation where it's like, you might not really be a first rounder, but you damn well better perform like it, or everyone's going to run you into the turf. So I'm not trying to put him in the same boat as Clyde, where I think like everybody thinks he's a bust, but I do think there's a lot of people that are saying it already, which is pretty unfair after the first 2 seasons. But I do think this is a pivotal season for Xavier Worthy. Like he should absolutely get out there and have his best year yet as a pro. If he doesn't, then that's probably going to be a problem, I think.
Yeah, I think he's got to perform this year, in my opinion. I think if you go to the defensive side, there's a few. Julia says she just got here. She wants to talk about the linebackers. I don't know if there's any linebackers in a make or break season. I think everybody's kind of over.
Damn. Gary Holland passed away. That's why he hasn't been here.
Whoa.
That's crazy. I saw Chief and Ray talking about it in the chat. It was probably a few streams ago. I was like, has anybody seen Gary? Like, I haven't seen Good to See You Gary in a while.
Wow, that's horrible news right here at 9:43 p.m.
Yeah, it's terrible news. Rest in peace, Gary. He was a good one. He was one of our mods. So
yeah, that's crazy.
So that makes sense. All the way back in December 8th. That's crazy. That makes total sense because he just kind of, I haven't seen him.
How did we find that out? How did somebody find that out? Were you guys like talking to him, or like this is word of mouth?
I don't think they were talking to him.
No, I mean, like, they could have been like outside of this, and then like they just knew and didn't want to pass along the news or whatever. But yeah, if we go linebacker, that sucks about Gary for real. If we go linebacker though for Julia, we'll jump to the defense a little bit. Do you think Jeffrey Boss is a make or break this year? I don't think so. In year 2,
no, you can't be make or break if they haven't even let you play yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And so I don't think there's any linebacker that's make or break this year. I think a lot of people are ready to give up on Nick Bolton. He better have a monster year. I think people are ready to watch him like get rid of that contract probably.
Yeah. I don't know. Linebacker's a weird position. I kind of thought they would touch on it in the draft. Really the only thing they did do was get a UDFA in Wesley Basaint, but I mean, he's kind of Jeffrey Bossa in a nutshell, really. I mean, he's a little bit more of a thumper than Bossa, but he's kind of a tweener type dude.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy though, isn't he? Or am I crazy?
He's more of a tweener guy, I think. He's about 230 pounds.
Why did I think he was more of a hitter though than a coverer?
He does hit. He hits a lot. Like, that's his thing, but that's what I'm saying. It's going to be kind of a weird thing for him in the NFL, I think, because he is definitely one of those guys that could, be an in-between safety linebacker type deal from what I was seeing.
Yeah. I think another guy's in a make or break year, or maybe he's not. but I think he could be. Jaden Hicks. You think Jaden Hicks is in a make or break year? Because he didn't get to play last year based off what we know. The coaching staff didn't trust him to be out there, and he wasn't doing something properly. So if you come in year 3 and you don't do it, then you may start getting a problem.
Well, I think the problem with Jaden Hicks lies in the hands of Steve Spagnuolo. So I don't think any Chiefs fan had a problem with Hicks in his rookie season. They thought that he looked really good.
No.
He was
Chiefs
always
fans
around
were
the
fine
ball.
with him.
He was going to be the next Honey Badger. He was everybody's most anticipated player last season. Thought he was going to be the player to talk about and kind of break out. But Steve Spagnuolo decided that he didn't make good decisions, or he didn't know the playbook properly, or basically decided that he wasn't Shamari Connor and he liked Shamari Connor better, is what it boiled down to. So, I mean, I don't know how you could be a make or break season for a guy that literally was, restricted by his coach. Like, hey, I'm not going to put you on the field ever. So, I mean, how do you expect him to perform last year? So, it cannot be a make or break for Jaden Hicks this year.
Well, how's it not? I'm talking about for the coaching staff. Fans ain't going to do it, but if the coaching staff's like, look, you can't get on the field, like this is year 3, that could definitely be the coaching staff thinking that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know if he just loses his mind at practice and, I don't know if he Kyler Murray's it and just plays Call of Duty and doesn't look at the playbook. I don't know. But I know that he had the ability to be really good, and we saw it. And then it was kind of the rug was pulled out from under him. So,
Make or break year, Jared Wiley. I think it might be a time for Jared Wiley. I think he makes the team this year, but I think you got to do something.
Has Jared Wiley played more than 10 snaps in the NFL?
I don't know, but you have to do something. I think what is this? We've missed pretty much a year to a knee injury, about a half a season. Last year, just nothing. I mean, there's a lot of players in this little boat. I don't know how you could consider it make or break, because like you said, they don't really get a lot of opportunity to shine, but if the coaches ain't playing you, I guess they've already made up the mind. Like, they're already a break on that year.
I mean, Jared Wiley, Jaden Hicks, those are like 4th-round picks, right? Which Jaden Hicks should have been picked before that. Jared Wiley was probably reached on just a tad bit, which a lot of people think you can't reach in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, but I think you can if they were projected later.
You can reach.
But
100%.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you can, draft a guy mid to late rounds of the draft, not use them, and then say it's a make or break year for him. I guess ultimately, if you look at it from the big picture, sure, yeah, it is.
He had 122 total snaps the past 2 years. That's all he's had in the NFL.
Jared Wiley had 122?
Yeah, he had 94 in 2024, 28 last year. So only 28 snaps last year. And the funny thing is that the Chiefs felt like they didn't need to do nothing with the tight end. Like, he's your tight end 3, and he got 28 snaps last year.
Yeah, they did some questionable strategy this year in the draft. They mainly focused on all defense, but they were able to get Emmett Johnson and Cyrus Allen. But I don't know. I kind of thought they would look for a dominant wide receiver or a dominant tight end to take the role of Travis Kelce, since they didn't do it in free agency. But they went running back in free agency and running back in the draft, and they got us a wide receiver that can run routes pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, they can't.
I honestly don't feel like they gave a rat's ass about the offense after free agency. I think that they're under the assumption that Kenneth Walker III is the magic bullet.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you could think any differently. They just didn't do a lot. But, I mean, you had to replace some defensive pieces. You had to, I guess. There's no doubt in that. I don't know. You can't really just say there's a different way to doing it. Maybe there's not. I mean, a lot of people are very much convinced that Mansour Delane is going to be Trent McDuffie or better.
I mean, projection-wise...
Not saying he's not going to be, but that's a tough projection to make.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Trent was projected to be a top 15 pick, and we got him at what, 21?
Yeah, I mean, there's more.
And he
look
ended
how
up
many
being
quarterbacks.
a
Look how
top
many
3.
quarterbacks has been drafted in the top 15 since we've took Patrick Mahomes, and ain't none of them been Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Jamie, you make a good point. I think they think fixing a little bit of the coaching staff might help, but I still I think there were a couple holes in the offense that they probably should have addressed more. Tight end's been a weird one for them to be skipping. There's been so many good tight ends in the last, say, 4, 5 drafts, and they just have hit the snooze button. They got.
Is it going to be weird?
Pep Kelce out here. They're going to have him on crutches in 10 years, being like, one more year, bro, one more.
Is it going to be weird if they were to need, well, we've already projected that we think they're going to need to kind of convert some contracts this week, probably.
Yeah.
And
Trent McDuffie was statistically a top 3 corner in the entire NFL for the last 4 years.
Right. I mean,
so
we can't really go with that.
That's a wild statement.
Yeah, we can't really go with that.
Yeah. I don't know. It makes me wonder because it's not just Zinks mod, sorry. I've seen so many people that talk about Trent McDuffie not being good, and it's like, what do you all expect from a cornerback? So Trent McDuffie, I mean, he didn't turn the ball over a lot. So, like, is that what the average fan tries to base a corner? Is that what the average fan tries to base a corner's performance off of? Is how many interceptions they have, or do they like guys that shut down wide receivers?
Yeah.
I would much rather have Trent McDuffie, who made Jamar Chase look like a peewee football player, as opposed to a guy that, got an interception that game but allowed 200 yards receiving. I don't know. It's just weird. The only person that did torch him was Courtland Sutton, and he even made a joke on that before and said that he was a top 3 wide receiver in the league because he couldn't handle him. But you have to think about how much luck went into Courtland Sutton torching Trent McDuffie, because the only way that he beat him was by the ball being perfectly placed, and he was bigger than him. And then you go look at the quarterbacks that were throwing the ball, and the wildness of the whole thing is crazy. Because, I mean, he was always in his back pocket. It's just, what are you going to do with a guy that's 6 inches taller?
Yeah, I don't know how you could say it. Like, McDuffie statistically last year was probably one of his worst years, I would think. And then during that Dallas game, he kind of got eat up a little bit, which our whole secondary did. A lot of that, again, we don't have a good pass rush. You can't let these guys sit back there for hours at a time. Good pass rush makes good corners. That's just the way it is. And so even last year, he was 13th overall in the league in coverage per PFF, which is insanity considering how much he had to cover on an island. And none of these other guys are doing that. So he only allowed 340 yards last year. And people are acting like that was statistically one of his worst years. And people are like freaking out over that.
Pretty crazy. Whitman says a Ramsey kind of guy. So here's my thing with Jalen Ramsey. Is he good? Yeah. Is he one of the most overhyped football players I've ever seen in the NFL? Yes.
Possibly.
Absolutely. Like, what is a Ramsey kind of guy? Like, a guy that performs fairly decent for like 2 years and then gets extremely overpaid for the rest of his career. Like, I never could figure out the Jalen Ramsey thing. Like, he never did it for me too much, Whitwin. I don't know. What do you mean by that, though?
Did you know Jalen Ramsey has played since 2016? So he's going on 3, 6, 9. He's played 10 years. How many years do you think he graded above a 80 in coverage? I'll just say 80. He's supposed to be one of the greatest to ever play, according to him and a lot of people. Like 60s average, 80 out of 10 years. How many times did he do it?
0.
Twice.
I don't know.
2 times. And one was an 85.
Well, let's not go by grading. How much yardage did he let up each year?
For his entire career, he's let up over 6,000 yards in 10 seasons. That's 600-yard average per season. McDuffie's not even close to that. His longest he's ever led up was he's led up a 70-yard touchdown or a 70-yard pass. Actually, let's just look at 50 plus. He's led up at least a 50-yard play every single season he's been in the NFL, but the last 3, and that's because he's almost been playing a lot more safety style stuff.
Yeah, he's getting a little older.
Right. He's allowed 35 touchdowns over 10 years. But again, he's got 26 interceptions. I think it's the ball hawk thing.
Yeah.
It's
but
gotta
I don't know. I think this perfectly describes Trent McDuffie. He was a guy that didn't get flustered or flagged. The only knock I've seen on Trent McDuffie, for me personally, was when he was against a bigger receiver like Cortland Sutton. If the ball was placed perfectly, he didn't have much of a shot, even if he was in their back pocket.
Isn't that every DB, though? If the ball's perfect,
and the funny thing is, you think about Russell Wilson and Drew Lock and Bo Nix were throwing these dimes. And that's that's why I think that's so funny. Because it's like, how in the hell did they manage to do that?
So McDuffie's played 4 years, and Jalen Ramsey's played 10. So next year will be his halfway mark.
What if you go by his first 4 years? I think that would be fair.
Okay, let's just go first 4 years. So in McDuffie's first 4 years, he has allowed 62% percentage. And let me see, here it is. He allowed about a 58. So he's given up about 4 more percent than Jalen
Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey. He's given about 4 more. His yardage, 27, about 2,800 yards for Jalen Ramsey. Only 2,000. Trent McDuffie's almost 1,000 yards less yards given up than Jalen.
I would be willing to bet
at this point.
People probably threw less at McDuffie. They don't like throwing his way because he's normally got his guy on lock.
I'm curious.
Yep. And I think that's why the turnover rate is lower with Trent McDuffie.
Targets 313 for McDuffie. Let's see. Let me add this up. I want to get it right. 370. So yeah, they've threw to McDuffie about, I don't know, about 55, 56 less. So they throw at McDuffie less because his guy's not open.
Right.
McDuffie's led up almost 800 less yardage in 4 years. The only difference is the interceptions, man. I'm telling you.
How many did Ramsey? I think that's the stat that really.
In 4 years, Ramsey had 11 compared to McDuffie's 3.
3. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that is the word bloviated. I feel like that makes everyone think that a corner is much, much better than they might be.
Yeah, because even PBUs, he's only up on McDuffie by 10 in 4 years. Only 2 extra times a year does he knock down a ball more than McDuffie. But he's getting more thrown at him.
Did Marcus Peters have more interceptions in his early years than Jalen Ramsey? Because
maybe.
I remember he was a straight ball hawk, but how many times did we see him get burned?
Yeah, that's that style. Let me look up Peters and see what he did. I'm curious. That's a good one.
We got a 2-bomb from Jamie Gladden. Appreciate you, brother. And we got another 2-bomb from Jamie, so we got a 4. It says, first live since my knee replacement on Monday. Let's go, man. I hope you're recovering well. Take it easy, brother. I heard that's a tough rehab, so we'll be thinking about you. Y'all put some good vibes out there for Jamie. Let's see. I love how everyone earlier when they were trying to say shuts down or shut down, it just kept saying shit down. They were getting auto-corrected. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Let's see.
Dude, I don't think it's even close between Marcus Peters and Trent McDuffie who was better. Yes, Peters had way more picks. But Peters in this if you just take the first 3 years of Marcus Peters, He allowed more touchdowns than Trent McDuffie in 4. He gave up 1,000 yards, 1,057 yards in just his rookie season. And then if you add his second and statistically the best season of his career, his 3rd season, he's still at 2,000 in 3 years. And McDuffie's only given up 2,000 in 4 years.
To me, it's like 2 different types of player, because you like, if you either want a ball hawk that can turn the ball over, or you want a guy that shuts everybody down. Trent McDuffie was a shutdown corner. Marcus Peters was a guy that would get after it and create turnovers. However, if you have a guy that's a ball hawk and is trying to jump the read all the time, they're going to get their ass burned. It's just going to happen. Like, I don't know anybody that kind of fit into both of those categories, you know? I guess maybe that's what Jalen Ramsey kind of fell in the middle of.
I think it's just nostalgia, too. People love players like Marcus Peters, and we forget all the times that Marcus Peters really did get burned.
Yeah.
And then you're always going to make excuses for guys you love. Like, I don't know. I think since Trent McDuffie got traded, like Trent McDuffie's, he's going to get – people are going to dog on McDuffie more than if he would have stayed his entire career here.
Yeah, well, I don't know. People still glaze Snead all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Snead really had one good year. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest.
And even that year, he allowed a lot of shit.
We knew that once he got out of Spag's system that he was in trouble. But
let's see what Snead done in Kansas City. This is fun looking back on these. In Kansas City, in 4 years, Snead allowed.
Snead had one historic season, and I don't know if you call it historic, but it was a great season.
Snead allowed 14 touchdowns in 3 years.
Snead did get a lot of flags.
He did get 11 picks. See, again, I think it's interceptions and turnovers. Yeah, his last year in Kansas City, he had 18 penalties, guys, in 1 year.
He was the Jawan Taylor of the defense.
18, 5, 9, and 3. So in his career, this dude literally had over 35 penalties, something like that, with the Chiefs. His yards, he only allowed about 1,400 yards though. So with the Chiefs, he did allow less yards than McDuffie. He also got thrown to his first year, 57 targets. Then after that, 120.
Well, he probably played a
101.
lot less snaps than McDuffie, because I don't think Snead started from year 1, did he?
No, his first year he only had 500 snaps, and then year 2, 3, and 4 he went over 1,100, 1,200, 1,200.
Okay.
So yeah, he's played less snaps. So I mean, not bad. I do think his catch percentage is going to be way higher. He allowed the most catches of anybody. He always led the league of that.
Yeah, well, regardless, I think Mansour Delane has an opportunity to be a really good corner in the league. I think that he could be as good or better than Trent McDuffie, but I think trying to put that kind of expectation on a rookie is putting a lot on a kid. But you did trade up. I mean, Chiefs kind of did that themselves. They traded up to take him at pick number 6. So, I mean, he's definitely got a lot of pressure coming in here. So we'll see. We'll see if he can rise to the occasion, as they would say.
If you're going to trade up and give away picks, go for it. I mean, I don't think Delaney's going to, or Delane. I always want to call him Delaney. I don't know why, but I think Delane wants to rise up to the challenge. I don't think he's going to back off of it. I just think it would be wild if the Chiefs, even as good as Brett Veach does draft, if you really look through his draft, he misses a lot more than he hits. That's just obvious. That's the way that's the way the cookie's going to crumble.
I think that's just in general. There's
exactly.
no GM that hits.
It's the way the cookie's going to crumble. So you're going to miss more than you hit. A lot of first-round picks turn out to be not as good as you think they are. And so if you told me you're going to get a Trent McDuffie-esque player, and then you're going to turn around 4 years later and you're going to get another one, you're going to hit another one that high, I would tell you the odds might be a little low on that.
Yep. Ray wants to know who had a better college career, Delane or McDuffie. I think we'll dig into that here in just a second. But real quick, I wanted to say appreciate you guys for being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button if you haven't yet. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Just want to take a quick second to shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. You can check them out in our description. Click the link. Get Prize Picks. You can use code HMA. And, Mike, why don't we go ahead and do some entries, man?
Yeah, let's do an entry. Let's bring this up here. Prize Picks, go download it. Use code HMA. We are in the middle of the OKC San Antonio game tonight, so let's just take Alex Caruso over more points than 2.5. I'll gladly take that. And then let's take De'Aaron Fox with over on points as well. He's got 5 points, only needs 7.5. I'll take it. And that's how we're going to do it. So this is how simple it is. It's less, it's more. You can follow Prize Picks. You can follow us at All Chiefed Up to go ahead and get on there, and you can piggyback our picks during the season. It's pretty cool. It's fun. It's easy. I enjoy Prize Picks. So go download that. Get ready for the NFL season. You can do a lot of stuff on there. They got futures things. They've got a lot of different things on there. There's even some culture stuff. Yeah. You can get on there and bet on, well, it's not really betting. You're just kind of trying to predict the future. So go see if you can predict the future a little bit over there. So, yeah, download that. Use code HMA. Appreciate your Prize Picks.
Yeah, well, let's see what Trent McDuffie and Mansour Delane looked like in college. What about that matchup? You think you could find that?
Yeah, I'll go back and see what I can find.
You don't have to dig, but I was just slightly interested on just like the basic stats, if you can find it. That's what Ray was asking about. Let's see.
I'll see if I can bring that up really quick.
Julia said nobody pissed her off like Josh Williams. Apparently nobody pissed off Steve Spagnuolo like Josh Williams. Let's see. He was like... I think Spags always wants somebody to pick on and not allow on the football field. And since Josh Williams only had a year left, he's like, Jaden, you're the next one.
Same.
You know? You're never going to play.
I will say, when Josh Williams actually played... There was a lot of good times he would be in right position, do things. I think it was the special teams that had to annoy the crap out of people.
Well, that's the thing. When you run a defense the way Spags does, and you want your corners to be tall, long, physical as hell, and handsy, they're going to get penalties. If that's how you want them to play football. That's why L'Jarius Sneed had so many damn penalties. Because that's how he wanted him to play. That's why Josh Williams was a penalty magnet, because he was similar. I think they were going to try to use him in that manner. A couple other guys, too.
Right.
But, Rashad Fenton, good grief. He was a flag magnet.
So Delane has played, Delane played almost 2,500 snaps in college. McDuffie only played 17. So he's got about 800 more snaps on McDuffie in college, which is wild. Like, that's literally like almost 2 full seasons in college. Mm-hmm. Delane only allowed 87 catches his entire 4 years in college. That's wild. McDuffie only allowed 56. So Delane basically got a full season. So in Delane's full season, he would have allowed what?
30 more.
21 more. It'd be 21 more. No, it's 87. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, it'd be about 32 more. Yeah, so Delane allows more catches, and that's with this year only giving up 14. Dude, McDuffie was a beast in college. Do you realize in 2020 he only gave up 6 receptions all season? Well, he was only targeted 8 times. What happened that year?
They don't throw the ball at Trent McDuffie.
Dude, he was only targeted 8 times.
They don't throw the ball his way because this guy's never open. That's the point that we were making earlier.
Okay, so McDuffie give up 500 yards, 502. Delane give up 1,300, give or take, about 1,225. Delane allowed 10 touchdowns. McDuffie allowed 4. That was all his freshman season. His sophomore and junior season, he didn't allow a single touchdown. 2 touchdowns 2 interceptions for McDuffie. Delane has 8. So Delane's a little bit more of a ball hawk, 18 PBUs compared to McDuffie's 9. Delane gets his hand on the ball more, but again, he's targeted a lot more. I think that's the difference. Even Jalen Ramsey, he was just targeted a lot more than McDuffie. You don't get your hand on the ball, you don't get as many picks, you don't get as much of that when they're not throwing your way a lot.
Yeah. Iron Price wants to talk about the offensive line a little bit. I think that's a topic that's been ignored quite a bit.
Yeah.
Even by the Chiefs. So you do have Josh Simmons, who I think is a could have a breakout year. I mean, he kind of played great last year. He missed a lot of the season with his family stuff. But, I mean, this season he could really step it up. I think the kid's good. I think he has what it takes. So I think it'd be a good season for him. I think Kingsley's going to improve at left guard because, once again, only has one. Got a whole season under his belt now. We'll see how that goes. The right tackle position, it's still a thing. Like, we either have Jalen Moore or we have Esapole. And they didn't do anything. It better not be Wanye Morris. Like, surely to God they're over that.
Dude, that's horrible.
So, just not... I mean, they had opportunities in this draft. Blake Miller would have been a plug-and-play starting right tackle. They could have made a move to get him at the end of the first round or mid-first round.
Yeah.
There's a handful of guys that they could have done that with, but they chose to ignore it. They signed nobody in free agency. I don't think there's anybody floating around right now that would be worth signing as far as right tackle goes. So now you're kind of in a position where it's like Pat's coming off an injury, so that's going to be touch and go, and you're probably not going to be doing very well on the right side. So how do you think they address that?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, if you look at our interior even, is our interior a little bit overrated?
No.
You don't think so? Because
no, I've seen somebody try to bring that up, talk about,
mean,
the run game wasn't good. It had to be that the interior offensive line.
Well, the run game isn't good.
It had to do with terrible play calling and a running back that can't see 3 feet in front of its face.
That's possible. But I will say, okay, like Nate Tice did an article on Yahoo Sports the other day. He said in 2025, the Chiefs ranked 755th out of 768 NFL offenses in explosive design runs since 2002. And that 4% mark was an improvement over their 2024 number, which ranks 758th. So only 3 or 4 teams since 2002 had a less explosive run rate. And we're just not running the ball, you know. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, it's all Pacheco's fault. It's all Pacheco's fault. He can't see. He can't do this. It's design. And there is something to that. But we've seen a lot of times the interior does not open up holes as well as you think they should. To have the best center in football, one of the highest paid guards in football, and there's a lot of times that we don't open the holes up well enough if you go back and watch film. So...
yeah.
And then is Kingsley, I think Kingsley will get there, but is he, like, are we ready to call him like a top-tier interior lineman at this point in his career? I don't know. I don't think you can say that.
I don't think you can equate that to the run game at all because he's a better run blocker than he is a pass blocker.
But it's that's a definite downgrade from Joe Tooney.
Well, of course. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So yes, maybe in the future Kingsley comes on, but I think saying that our interior looked better than it did 2 years ago is false.
That if you're saying that our interior offensive line is overrated, that you're in the same breath saying that Brett Veach and the Chiefs organization are dumb because they paid the hell out of Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. So if they're overrated and they're not good, then those were the worst two contracts I've ever seen.
No, Creed Humphrey can play, but they absolutely overplayed Trey Smith. Or they overpaid Trey Smith. There's no doubt in my mind they didn't overpay him. All because they wanted to make him the highest paid, didn't want to see him go anywhere and chase money. And then his contract was beat in 6 weeks? You already had a new guy already jumped in front of him because all these guys want to do and all these franchises want to do is make the next highest paid guy. It's so ridiculous. Trey Smith is a very solid offensive lineman. Do I think Trey Smith is one of the top 5 guards in football? I think that's very debatable.
Yeah, but I mean, he was
paid as the top guard in football.
There's definitely an argument for him.
But I'm just saying he was paid as the top guard in football, and so
I just don't think they're overrated.
Him in the top 5.
I think that our scheme was trash, and I think when you only run delayed handoffs on second and long, and every other team knows that, that's what you do.
Well,
I think you're not going to have a very lucrative run game.
Let me see if I can find success rate of Chiefs runs per gap. How well do we do running outside? How well do we do running in the 2 and the 4 hole here?
Well, I mean, you have to think about just a scheme in general, because it's a zone blocking scheme. So you always had the running back trying to bounce a little bit outside to find a hole to cut back through. Obviously, Clyde wasn't great at that, and Pacheco wasn't great at that. Both of them had trouble with running into the back of their offensive line. So,
yeah, I mean, that's true. That's also very true. Let's see.
Cheever says he thinks when we needed 1 yard, we'd run behind Trey every time. It's a possibility, too.
Listen to this. It does say this. The Chiefs frequently leaned on their gap blocking rushing concepts, which they don't. They don't gap block. They zone block. Mm-hmm. So whoever wrote this is a little off there. But they said that if you look, that their runs between the tackles, between the tackles, I mean, that still could do a tackle. About a 55% success rate. It does say when scheming any kind of run that looks to be more of a gap than a zone, they will directly run more to the left side off left tackle or left guard gaps. The Chiefs have historically reached rushing success rates surpassing 50% running left. Huh. That's wild because that's running away from Trey Smith. I want to see real data, though. I don't want to see some random, found it. Ain't that something? Just right there. Boom. Okay, let's see if I can find the actual... Oh, this is great. What website is this? This is insane. You can actually break down everything of what you're running. Okay, so their success rate, the best holes to run in is between, this is last year, 2020. Let me just bring this on screen. I want to bring this on screen. I want everybody to see this so you know, and it's hard to follow maybe. So let me just bring it in. This is kind of cool, actually. Here we go. Rushing EPA by gap. Look, running behind Trey Smith is all negative red. Everything is red. You run off right tackle, all left tackle, and between, Kingsley kicking out and Creed kind of sealing a guy on the back edge right up the one hole, and you're good to go. But if you run up gap 2 or 4, you're just completely toast. This is 2025 too.
Yeah, I don't know how good what that really shows us.
That shows you exactly where you succeeded in the run game.
So you think that's directly because of that player?
I'm not saying that, but so it's actually counting everybody here. All runs, 358 carries, Hunt, Pacheco, Smith, and Worthy. They even counted him.
Do you see what I see? There's a lot of red with Isaiah Pacheco, and he had the most carries of everybody.
He had 118. Kareem Hunt had 163. I mean, nobody said Isaiah Pacheco was a good running back. Look how bad Brashard Smith is over here on EPA per carry.
Yeah.
And people's telling us that he doesn't.
It's
he's
scheme.
A lock.
It's scheme.
It may be scheme, but point is, you got to block your scheme. And it looks like the center right guard combination struggled a little bit in 2025. That's all I'm trying to say, and it's right there on the screen.
Yeah, so. I totally get it. And I mean, this is all you have to go on. But I would suspect that just absolute horrid, predictable play calling is probably the main reason for that.
There's lots of factors. It's football.
Yeah.
That's why you can't say nothing definitively. But the point is that was every run. That was the EPA per run, and those were the 2 gaps that sucked. So every time Pacheco touched the ball, he just sucked when he run that way. But if he run the other way, he was perfect, or vice versa. Like at some point, you got to give a little bit of credit or not credit to the line.
Jamie was acting like all those arrows were actual runs, and he was like, all the ones that hit the offensive lineman in the backward pop.
Yeah, for real. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, these guys play, with certain injuries each week. They've got all kinds of stuff. You can't just say that. But I'm just saying, I think last year, the interior offensive line did not look as crisp as they have in years past. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, I'm firmly on the side of the fence that thinks that no one was going to be able to block that scheme. Like when everybody on the football field and their grandmothers know when you're running the football, you're toast.
Well, yeah, the predictability of a play call, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, we're going to have the same scheme this year. We're not switching that up. So if they can't block a gap
I would
scheme or a
definitely-
zone scheme, we're in trouble.
Well, I'm saying I just hope that it's a little bit more of a run game than, hey, it's second down and long because we passed on first down and we had a play where every wide receiver ran the same route and just stopped and we didn't get anything out of it. So now let's run the ball on 2nd and 10.
Right.
Like, that's literally our run game for the last 2 years. So
I mean, it's true.
It's just been stupid. So
Brian says, hey, Mike, you might want to remember how much Trey had to help out Juwan Taylor. I'm not saying he didn't. That chart comes back up.
I don't know how true that is either.
Right, and the chart comes back up, and if you run directly behind right tackle, it was fine. You run between right tackle and right guard, and there was a problem.
Because he was helping Juwan Taylor, but Juwan Taylor wasn't helping him. It was a one-sided relationship.
I'm curious. I would like to. I'm curious on that. Like, would that be a thing? Like, I wonder if you looked up run grades for.
I will say that.
Let me see if Juwan Taylor's run grade and
Juwan Taylor's run grade was always pretty low. He was a better pass blocker.
That is true. Juwan Taylor, not the greatest run blocker ever.
He's probably the only one on the offensive line that probably graded out higher at pass blocking than run blocking.
Yeah. So last year he never had a single. No. He had one game above average. Every other game was below average in the run block. Which leads me to believe that that chart now that says right tackle was a success. That means that those are going to be outside runs. Those are going to be like Xavier Worthy type runs or something like that where they're in the rounds, things like that. Mm-hmm. So that means that they're attributing the right tackle to the inside. So on that right side of Trey must be attributed to the right tackle.
Yeah. I think a lot of people's making good points in the chat, by the way. Mr. Andrew, I was kind of irritated at Markel Bell going to the Eagles too. I think he was probably one of the guys that could have been drafted a little earlier than he was. I think he's good. Jamie says that while we were changing coaches, we should have got rid of Andy Heck. I actually think Andy Heck's got a pretty good pass so far by not developing anybody.
Yeah.
And they ignore it.
Dude, but a lot of our fan base thinks Andy Heck's developed a lot of good players. Yeah. I can't see it. Like, they're literally giving Andy Heck credit for Kingsley looking good coming in and playing guard this past season.
I mean, that's just common sense.
How do you give Andy Heck credit for that, though, is what I want to know, because...
Yeah, personnel move, I guess. Stanley says going to be more bloody knuckles, running the ball more. That's where we need depth at. And they haven't really added a lot of depth at the offensive line. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think the running game's going to look different. But I don't think that you're going to see more volume than we normally do. I think it'd be about the same.
We're going to, I guarantee you right now, we're going to be on here after week 1. We can predict the future right this second. We'll come on here after week 1 and we're going to look on the stat sheet. And if we lose, we're going to say we didn't even get 20 carries and we went out and paid big money to Kenneth Walker. We couldn't even run the ball 15 times.
And the reason why
that's what we're going to say. Like, you can almost see it with a crystal ball.
The reason why I say that is because, I mean, fans, the average fan for sure, uses the eyeball test when they watch stuff, right? They don't go digging to find, you know, exact amounts of carries and things like that. So by eyeball test, well, we're going to run the ball more because Eric Bieniemy's coming back. But Mike, you looked up all those numbers, and Matt Nagy ran the ball more than Eric Bieniemy, right?
Yeah.
And keep in mind,
the volume was higher.
Keep in mind,
Nagy.
this is all with a caveat because I don't think either of the two ever called the offense completely. So
no,
keep that in mind. This is Andy's offense. Now, Bieniemy's coming back. I don't expect there to be more carries than last season. I don't expect there to be more carries than 2 years ago. I don't even expect there to be more carries than when he was here the first time. But I tell you where I think the perception is wrong. I think the running game was more effective in the Bieniemy years than it was during the Matt Nagy years. So it comes off as we weren't running the ball when in reality we weren't effective running the football.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about how they approach it and scheme it in and utilize it, especially with a guy like Kenneth Walker there. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do, but I don't think just thinking we're going to run the ball a lot it's probably a flawed thought, to be honest. I just don't see Andy ever committing to running the ball more than 350 times a year. It's just not going to happen. Jamie says he lost respect for Heck when Kennard couldn't get on the field. I'd agree with that too. I mean, Kennard would have been the guy that you could have pulled to Kingsley with and pulled him into guard and been really good.
Bieniemy was here till 2022, right? So 2022, Nagy took over, correct? 22, 23, 24, 25? Was that Nagy?
Nagy was the last 3 seasons.
Or was he just 23, 24, 25?
I think as soon as Nagy came in, we went back to back, right? Or am I
Dude,
wrong?
Yeah. Well, listen to this. If you take that same website I was on and you go back to the 2022 season, which would have been Bieniemy's final year, correct?
22.
Is that right? 2022.
Whatever, I want to say it was the same exact year that Tyreek Hill was traded away, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know.
Well, check this out. In 2022, that's what it looked like. That was the efficiency EPA.
Mm-hmm.
And
EB
I don't
was 2022.
And I don't know if our offensive line. Now I want to go back and see if I can find what our offensive line was in 2022. What it was completely.
You had Orlando Brown Jr., Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and
who was that other one? That's what I was that Jawan Taylor year one?
Andrew Wiley.
Andrew Wiley. It was Brown at left tackle, Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Andrew Wiley. And with all that right there, it makes me wonder why the Chiefs let Andrew Wiley walk and went and paid all that money to Jawan Taylor to come in here and just get penalties after penalty and bring the worst run offense. Yeah, right? Like, see, that's another thing. I think the Chiefs have done some really weird things. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think that those efficiency, like whatever you're looking at right there, I think that reflects more of the overall offense and how it was ran and schemed more than the offensive lineman.
You know, it's crazy. In 2022, where do you think Eric Bieniemy's offense ran the ball the most? If you look at all the carries, do you think they ran above center? Do you think they went right guard, left guard, right tackle, or left tackle?
I missed a couple of super chats, so I want to get these real quick.
Get those.
Whitwin with the 2 bombs says first rounder for Nico Collins.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Couldn't do it, Whitwin. Great receiver, injury prone. I don't think they would do it anyway, but I think it's too much for him. And then Fred Smith with the 2 bomb. He says, how good do you think R. Mason is going to be? And this was quite a few minutes ago. I don't know how I missed this. I got lost in the sauce, but sorry, Fred. Appreciate the 2. And so R. Mason, I think this is a polarizing thing because we've seen historically what happens with speed rushers and Spags defenses. They don't get played or utilized whatsoever. But I do think they're trying to get back to something of that nature, or at least like tweak it a little bit. I love R. Mason Thomas. I think it's really hard to know how the college tape's going to translate to the NFL. But, I mean, he's a closer, dude. Like, he's a guy that just gets to the quarterback. Like, you have, like, George Karlaftis, who puts a lot of pressure on quarterbacks but never gets home. R. Mason Thomas is a guy that gets home. So, I really hope it translates. And I hope he can somehow, be good enough in the run game to get a lot of downs or a lot of snaps. Because if he could be like a 3-down type guy, I think he'll have a lot of opportunities. If he's only going to be used as a pass rush specialist to come in on 3rd downs, it's going to be tough for him to produce a lot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like R. Mason Thomas. I like his bend. I like you know, a lot of people said he was like the other cat that come out of Oklahoma a few years earlier that we really liked. I don't think he's at the level of Nick Bonito as a pass rusher, at least what I've seen coming out of college. Like that
Not
bend.
quite.
I don't think he was quite there for me. But I do think that R. Mason Thomas has tons and tons of potential. I just really want us to utilize it. And I think that's on R. Mason Thomas a little bit. Until you can prove that you're a good pass rusher in this league, until you can prove you can get after the quarterback, you've got to learn how to set an edge. You're going to have to figure out how to do it because Spags will go away from you very quickly.
So, you know, us trying to say that he might not have been as good of a prospect as Nick Bonito, that's eye test once again. What about the statistics? What do the statistics say on that?
That's a good one. I've never really went back and looked at that one.
Because, I mean, R. Mason might have outdone him in college. I don't know.
Well, also testing and things like that isn't going to be in the stat sheet. Like, for me, I didn't see the same level of bend with an R. Mason Thomas as I did for a, Nick Bonito. But
once again, yeah, it's like an eye test.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, I mean, it means something, but just to the eye of the beholder, right? So
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering how he stacked up as far as stats and stuff.
See if I can find it. Little R. Mason Thomas action. This is funny. Like, to get through all this stuff, you have to go all the way in. You got to go all the way back. It's the weirdest thing ever.
I don't even remember what year Benito got drafted, but I remember we wanted him so bad.
Yeah, we were big time Nick Bonito guys, and we thought we should have taken him in round 2? Was that when we was trying to get Nick Bonito?
2 to 3.
Pretty sure that's when we was like, dude, go draft him. And that was when we was trying to get, Spags to kind of move on from his BS, like just, station wagon body type. And it's taken so long that now the league's almost adjusted back to that type, and they're running the ball more, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Let me see. So Nick Bonito in college, he was 2018 through 2021. Bonito in college. First, let's see how many snaps they played. Bonito had about 1,400 snaps. R. Mason Thomas had about 1,300. So they're close. These are going to be very, very close. Nick Bonito only played, and the reason why is Nick Bonito only played 36 snaps as a freshman. So R. Mason Thomas actually played 231 as a freshman, so he didn't play as much until junior, senior, but freshman, sophomore, he did contribute. So, sacks for R. Mason Thomas. He had 80 total pressures, 17 total sacks. Nick Bonito had 122 total pressures, which is 42 more. 19 total sacks, which is 2 more. So only 2 more sacks, but a lot more pressures. 22 hits on the QB. R. Mason Thomas had 15. R. Mason Thomas had 48 hurries. Nick Bonito had 81. He almost doubled him in hurries. Tackling 69 total for Nick Bonito. R. Mason Thomas 34 total. So in no way was he more imposing than Nick Bonito in college.
Okay.
No, Nick Bonito was an all-out better prospect. I'm sorry, and that's nothing to do with R. Mason Thomas.
No,
but this is
I
why.
love R. Mason Thomas.
And a lot of people come in here and say,
him.
you got shit on R. Mason Thomas. Mike wants him to suck. I absolutely don't think that at all. But when you look at the two players, Nick Bonito was an all-out better prospect. That's not saying R. Mason Thomas can't come in and fly by him or be good. I just was fighting a lot for Nick Bonito in round 2. I thought Nick Bonito was a round 1 borderline prospect. And R. Mason Thomas, I put probably like mid round 2 to early round 3, and that's exactly where he went. So
yeah, R. Mason Thomas, if you're watching by chance, if you catch this,
yeah,
I'm excited for
kick
you
ass, brother,
to be on this team. You're probably my favorite pick in the entire draft.
I'm dead serious. It's him or Peter Woods for me.
It's him for me because I wanted Nick Bonito. I've wanted a guy like that, and now I got R. Mason Thomas, and I'm happy with that. And I hope you do well. But the one problem that I have with you is that you eat your hamburgers well done.
I take it back. He's not one of my favorite picks in this.
Like, come on, bro. You have to. Don't overcook that thing.
Live a little, brother.
You don't want to eat a leather burger. Go medium. You can still put all the toppings that you said you like to put on there, but go medium.
Wait, when did he say he ate a burger well done? That's almost like borderline sin.
He said his perfect burger was mayo on the bottom bun.
Ooh.
Then cheese.
I like that.
Then well done meat. Or I think he said well done or medium well. I don't remember. He said well
Medium
done.
well, I'll roll with.
He said well done though, and that threw me off. But then I think he went lettuce, tomato, ketchup, and then more mayo on the top bun.
So he's a double mayo kind of guy. For me, I'm simple. I'll do a little mayo and pickle sometimes, but for me, I can just do cheese, grilled onions is where it's at. That's the combo I love.
I think that's the best way to eat a burger.
But
Not
you know,
too much,
a
just
lot of
enough.
people don't like to medium cook hamburger.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
don't. They think it's
I think
it can give you like bacteria.
It can't. Just eat a medium burger. It's better.
It can. I think.
Maybe. If you have really bad luck. I don't know. I've ate a lot of medium burgers in my day.
Dude, I've had a burger one time that like you bite into it and you're like, did they even cook this thing? I couldn't get through that one.
Y'all like well done burgers? Like, this is wild. I thought I didn't think.
Steve, we might be in the minority here.
Who eats well done burgers?
I can't do it because to me it's just a little
Dry?
too chewy and dry, yeah. But I mean, he's wanting
Not
extra
dry
mayo,
burger.
so I think he's good. That's why he wants that.
That's probably why he put so much
he has
mayo
to double
on
his
there.
mayo and his ketchup.
Yeah, if
I
you're
think so,
eating
too.
shoe leather, you have to put some lube up on that thing to swallow it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. I don't know, Mike. We got a
What do we got?
freaking 50 bomb from our boy
Flap.
Flapjack.
Let's go.
Let's
Man,
go, baby.
Flapjack. Flapjack's in the freaking house today.
Supporting his boys. He says Travis looking out of shape with them man titties.
Whoa, you think Travis looks out of shape? I didn't pay a lot of
Travis
attention to it.
Did he have moobs?
Did he have some moobs? I don't know. I didn't see. Let's bring in a picture. Let's let the chat decide.
I dare you to Google search Travis Kelce's man titties and see what
Okay.
comes up.
Let's see what happens, and then whatever happens,
You
you
need to
guys
search it
blame
before you
Steve.
post it.
Nope, I'm putting it right on. No, joking. Travis Kelce, man boobs. Okay, I'll put that in. We'll see what happens.
Everyone tried to say Patrick Mahomes had moobs, though, and then he went out and scorched the entire NFL.
Wait, this was a thing. On May 3rd, 2025, so last year at this time, it says a picture was floating around of him having fat man boobs. When was that?
Dude, it's okay. I have fat man boobs. It's
But
okay,
when was
Travis.
that?
It's all
was
right.
that when he played in that golf tournament that time?
I don't know.
The article went on to just
a
say
freaking
he was-
50 bomb to talk about Travis Kelce's man
Yeah.
titties. Flapjack's a legend. You guys put some legendaries in the chat.
That's pretty wild. I like it. Let's find him at the Cavs game though yesterday and see what he's talking about.
He's chugging them beers, growing them moobs.
Hey,
if you will.
hey, Flap, how did you see? I mean, I don't even. He wore a shirt covering him. Here, let's get an image in. Let's bring an image in so everybody can determine this. This is Taylor Swift. You know, I'll say, as long as he can put a little meat on Taylor Swift's bones, that's a good sign too, I think. I've always thought she would look better with a little bit over 72 pounds. And that's not me like hating on her. I just think, you know.
No, do you think
have a burger.
Do you think Taylor Swift likes guys that have a little bit of man boob action?
Maybe. She did date John Mayer. There he is. Like, how did you get man boob out of that? Like, to me, he looks a little buff.
I'm obese. If that's
Hey, he
man
looks
boob.
kind of buff, Flapjack. I don't know about it. It looks like he might be rocking a six-pack under there.
Yeah, if that's man boobs, I am absolutely obese.
If
I could
that's
sumo
man
wrestle.
boobs, yeah.
Look at the guy in the back wearing the.
Those are
This
man
guy,
titties.
this
And
guy
I'm
taking a stray. Whoever you are,
Bro,
catching a stray.
Dude, if
the
you're
dude
in
on
the
the
chat,
left.
random man from Cleveland that took a stray from Steve, he does, though. That's a man boob.
That poor dude.
Poor dude. He didn't even deserve it. And the other guy looks like he's getting ready to like flick his Johnson.
You're gonna dingle it a little bit.
Yeah, he's about to flick it or something. But is Taylor looking at Kelce with love? Is that what she's doing? Or is she looking up in the stands? I can't really tell there.
I don't know. Flapjack, you're a legend, brother.
Yeah, brother. That's awesome.
Appreciate
and you
the
made me go
50.
Google Travis Kelce's boobs. I didn't think I was going to do that today.
You gotta fight for your right to wear a D cup, says Jamie. Man, yeah, I don't know. I think his tits looks great in that picture.
Oh. Hey. Yeah. I think they looked okay. I mean, I'm not, I don't know if they're Sydney Sweeney vibes, but I think they look okay. I'm just going to say it.
Not bad, Trav. I think we're okay there. Well, this went off the rails quick.
Yeah, well, when you donate $50, you can dictate where the show goes. And if you want to go to Travis Kelce's boobs, I guess you can do it. But you're right.
Yeah. Flapjack's a master of that.
Yeah. He's a wild one.
He's a wild one.
Jamie said they're a good-looking couple. They are. I hope they stick it out. I hope it wasn't. People said it was fake. Remember?
No, I think
it was fake. It was fake. I think it's been a while.
At this point, you guys just stay together to prove a point to everybody else, okay?
Yeah.
Just be stubborn.
Yeah, I think they'll stay together. Maybe they'll have some cute children,
Maybe.
I don't see how they can have ugly children. Then again, that usually happens. Like two really nice-looking people have some god-awful looking children.
Look, Richie, maybe this is why they hate us so much.
You're probably right. We've talked about all kinds of things.
Those guys are not being politically correct. Please shadow ban them.
Yeah, well.
That's great. LaFarmer, I don't think that Jacksonville's interested in getting rid of Brian Thomas Jr. I think I saw a report on that, and they don't think they're going to trade him. So
yeah, I think they're just kind of done with it. I don't think people offered him enough. Or what do you think they were offering for him? Or what do you think they were wanting for him? Were they really trying to get like a round one pick or something?
Something stupid.
I mean, they give up a round one.
Well, yeah, I just don't think they want to trade him, honestly.
Yeah.
Burrito Bandito. Any breaking news? Absolutely not.
Travis Kelce's man boobs.
Yeah. He don't have boobs. That's the breaking news. We thought he did. Flapjack tricked us, but he doesn't. I think the other breaking news today was nothing.
Travis Kelce, or no, wait, it wasn't Travis Kelce. Who was it? Oh, it's Mahomes. He did post something on IG. What was that story about? Saying that people wasn't calling him the GOAT anymore, posting some Drake lyrics.
No, I just posted a song with a picture, and the song had lyrics that said something about, what was it? I don't know. I don't have it with me. Give me a second. I don't want to misquote it, I don't want to butcher it.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, look, Maddox asked, do you guys think the Chiefs' offense will be better this year, especially with Kenneth Walker? Yes. I don't think it could get any worse.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I think it'll get better. I think Kenneth Walker will be fine. I just want a nice, healthy season from Kenneth Walker is all I want. Paying him that much, I want a healthy season.
So Patrick Mahomes on IG with the Drake song, Whisper My Name, with the lyrics, am I your GOAT? Well, probably not. I probably was, but you probably forgot. Ooh. And it's a picture of him throwing a football.
Dang.
And I think that means that revenge tour is in full effect. But we said this a couple years ago when he should have been on a revenge tour, and then the Chiefs shit the bed.
Yeah, he had a non-revenge tour. He had a nap tour.
Yeah. I don't know. Rice is still in jail. That's the breaking news.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
Breaking news. Rashee Rice gets a tattoo with a ballpoint pen and a guitar string.
Should we play a game every live stream? What's Rashee doing in jail right now? At 9:43 p.m., what do you think Rashee's doing in jail? I think it's lights out at 10. So he's only got about 16 more minutes now.
I think I think the guard probably went there and was like, lights out. And
go away, Baton. Damn it.
Probably what Rashee Rice is doing.
Maybe he's rehabbing.
What else you going to be doing? What else you going to be doing? Well, guys, we appreciate y'all being here. Do us a favor. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. I want to shout out Prize Picks one more time for sponsoring tonight's live stream. Get down in the description. Click that link. Get Prize Picks. Use code HMA when you're signing up. Play 5 and get 50 instantly. So you can't beat that. Go take advantage of it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Be on the lookout for new content all the time because that's what we do. And we'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.
Wow.